Hi everyone, welcome to my super easy beginners series. I'm gonna have a go today at some Cornish cliffs and a lovely sort of sea scene. So we've got a nice big cliff here, and then they're gonna taper away. So we're gonna have another cliff. So this one's fairly big, this one then tapers within it, and then this one is going to be far away. So we're going to have a little one just here. And then I'm going to sweep the water here. And we're going to have a bit of a wave there. So nice and simple drawing. I'm using Saunders Waterford. It's about 5 by 7 inches. A nice little piece, nice and manageable. I've got my Cotman palette. I've got my round number 10, round number 6 and a rigger. I've also got a little bit of bank cod that I'm going to show you how to create craggy cliffs with. So we're going to come in first of all with some water over the sky. You can come over the cliffs, it's not the end of the world. You can come round them or come over them. We're going to do them darker, so you can get away with that. You just need to make sure you get a nice sheen on the paper, no puddles, no dull dry bits. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit of a glow in the sky, so I'm going to start with some cadmium yellow and bring that in nice and low. Rinse my brush off, still with my round number 10, dab it off. I'm going to come into some rose. If you haven't got rose, alizarin crimson would work. I'm just going to give a little bit of a glow. What's quite good is when you use the rose against the yellow, it means that when you're using blue above, you won't end up with a green. So I've rinsed my brush off, and then I'm coming in to some cerulean blue. I'm going to sweep that across, left to right strokes. Nice and simple. You can blend a little bit through. Don't want it to look too stripy. Okay, I'm going to rinse that brush. I'm going to come down to my number 6. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the rose and just get this so you can see here and some of the little palette side, and then some of the ultramarine blue. You can do this beforehand if you're worried you won't have enough time. Depending on what country and you might not have enough time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in with the purple and I'm pushing down in a circular motion. When I lift off in the bigger area of the cloud. So we're going to create some lovely clouds here. So circular motion, pushing down with the brush. Keeps you in control. Circular motion, pushing down with the brush. Because we're using purple, you won't end up with any mucky looking grey greens in there. I can take a few wispy bits through. The ultramarine granulates, so it has a nice effect. I'm just taking a little bit more in here. So I've got a bigger cloud there. And then I'm going to wisp a little bit through there. It's all about just getting a nice balance in the sky. You don't want it to look too patterned. There we go. Okay, whilst that's drying and settling, I'm going to come into the water. So we're going to put water on the water. I'm not going to do it on the foamy bit though. So the foamy bit of the wave, I'm going to leave dry. I'm going to leave a tiny line between the sky so that I don't get a blend coming through there. Okay, and then I'm going to start with some cerulean blue. I'm going to sweep that through. I'm back to my round number 10. Leave that tiny, it's about 1 millimetre in between, just so that they don't end up with a bleed into the sky. I can just sweep through the blue. Give my brush a bit of a rinse. I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of the rose. And we're going to reflect some of the colour in there as well from the rose. Not too concerned about the yellow. Then I'm going to swap down to my number 6. That same purple mix I'm going to make a bit bluer. And what I want to do is just start to create a little bit of shadow and ripples. So I'm going to start towards the back quite horizontal. But then as I come towards this wave, I'm just going to follow the line of the wave. So I get a better sense of perspective. I'm going to rinse my brush out. I'm going to load it with water and I'm going to touch in a few places along this edge. Now this should create a watermark. Can you see it happening? It's going to give a nice foamy effect. Now when you want to create a watermark, it doesn't always happen, but basically you're wanting to shoot the water back in so it has like a crashing wave effect. Then I'm going to do something similar here. I'm just going to pop a few bits just around this big rock. So I'm just dotting in water and letting the water watermark basically. So this is a way of breaking the rules and it working. I'm just going to let that settle and do its thing. And I'm going to come on to the beach area. Now in my little kit here, I haven't got raw sienna. Raw sienna or yellow ochre would work great for a sandy beach. I haven't got it, so I'm going to use cadmium yellow. I want you to use what you have. It's important you learn how to use the colours you have. So I need to make it look a little bit browner, so I'm going to use a little bit of burnt umber on here as well. So I'm going to bring that along the edge where the wave would come and you get the water. And then with my round number 6, which is clean and dry, I'm going to just pull that with a horizontal stroke. So I'm pulling that colour into the yellow. So that's giving it the sense that the wave is going back and forth, back and forth. I'm drawing with the brush. If I pick up a little bit more of the burnt umber onto my number 6, I can just come along the edge of that wave and I can wiggle a little bit. It'll create a nice water's edge with a bit of a shadow. That's quite a useful tip. I'm just going to round that off at this end here as well towards that rock. Okay, I'm going to dry that with a hairdryer. Okay, so that's nicely dry. What I'm going to do is come back into this purpley blue mix and just start to create. Just going to add a bit of water to it. I don't want it to be too strong. Some more ripples on the water. So I can work that bit I've just added, just blend it a little bit through. So you just don't want that to be too strong. So as I'm coming this way now, I'm going to start to create the same as we did with the soft area. We're just going to start to create these waves with a harder edge. And then I'm going to look at these lovely little bits where it's watermarked, and I'm just going to bring in a little bit to accentuate them. I don't want to do too much. You see that I'm popping those little bits in there. I'm going to rinse my brush out so it's nice and wet. And then you can see I'm touching the paint. I just want to soften these in from the top. If it's easier, turn it upside down. You're not moving the paint, you're just softening in those little bits. So you've got a hard edge one side, a soft edge the other side. And it's just giving it a little bit more detail. I'm just going to take a little bit down here. Just accentuating that wave a bit. I'm not going to do much over here. I'm just going to dot in around the watermarks. And again, damp brush. Just touch those areas, but I'm wetting further than it needs to go. Just so it softens in. It just accentuates that just enough that it looks like it's splashing. It's a nice and easy way. If you load your brush up with water, dab it into that purple, and then nice and watery, just dot that through. It'll look less white and more shadowed, bubbly water. Okay, so now we need to look at a dark. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use that same purple, because purple makes a great distance colour. So that's the rose and ultramarine. I'm just going to take in a dab or two of the ivory black, so it's making it a more muted purple. And I'm going to come in to this one that's a bit further away first. So this is straight on to dry. I want this one to be a nice solid dark. I can just bring that on. That's going to settle nicely. I'm also just going to take a tiny bit of this same purple very carefully underneath the white of the wave to create a bit more shadow. That's going to bring that out lovely as well. Okay, so that one's drying. That one I can leave at the minute and we can come on to this one. So I'm going to pick up my round number 10, pop on a bit of water. I want you to be a bit careful of where you've got the watermark, because you want to keep that and preserve that if you can. And we need to take some colours into here. So I'm going to start with a little bit of ultramarine blue. And I'm following the line of the lands. This is with my round number 10, which I'm not going to stay with. Round number 6 puts me more in control. If I take a little bit of the cadmium yellow, I can take some of that along the top, and I'm going to start to get a green that would happen on the top of this cliff face. I'm going to use some of that purpley grey mix because we've used it in that one, and I'm going to create a synergy with it. And then I'm going to use a mixture here of ultramarine and burnt umber. You could use a bit of something like ivory black in there, but I tend to prefer this mix when I'm doing cliffs. So you can see it's a nice dark. And you taking dabs in, following the line of the land. Come along this bottom section. So where your watermark is, you've got to come round it if you want to keep that area looking like it's splashing up. like that. See, this looks great just as is, but what you can do is use your little bit of chopped up bank card. If you use an indent, you can just draw in some craggy bits. So you can draw a line and get some craggy lines appearing. It's got to be wet enough for the paint to run in. The other thing that you can do is you can scrape. So you can scrape out light by using the flat of the card and scraping along those craggy lines. You can see it's really effective. If when you scrape it runs straight back, it's too wet. If you scrape and it does nothing, it's usually too dry. So it's getting it at the right point, but a little bit of scraping works wonderfully as craggy rocks. Like that. Okay, I'm going to dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry, so I need to come into this one in between now, and this needs to be an in between of both tones. So I'm going to take a little bit of water in. I'm going to take a tiny bit of the cadmium yellow because I still want it to look a little bit green on top. Then I'm going to take some of the ultramarine in. Blend that through. And I'm going to take some of the mixture of ultramarine and burnt umber in, following the line of the land, and then I'm going to use some of that muted purple. So that is the rose, ultramarine, and a little bit of the ivory black or Payne's grey, or a bit of the burnt umber ultramarine mix. Tonally, this needs to have a bit more purple in, so it sets back. Purple's a great distance colour, setting something into the distance. So I'm just adding a little bit more of that in places. Because this is further back, we're not going to do too much this one. I'm going to take a few craggy lines in. If you do the same as that one, then what happens is it all looks like it's the same depth away. So just a few craggy lines, that gives it an additional bit of detail. Okay, so I'll dry this one off. And there we go, so we're all finished. So a nice simple Cornish cliff seascape where I've taught you how to do that mix of a beautiful sunrise sunset sky, how to create those little splashes with the waves and with the water marking on the waves. You've got the techniques to create the cliff face. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what else you'd like to cover. I'll pop a playlist here for you and a video here, and I shall see you next time. Bye.